If you're viewing this video, you have found the TF South Art Department. You're in a good place. My name is Mr. Mish. Miss Brungens and Miss Owens.
Hello, it's Mrs. Brungens. We're excited to teach, explore, and create with you in our virtual classroom.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Owens. Welcome to Remote Learning with the Art Department.
Have nominated me to make this video for all of you. I can only assume that they nominated me because I'm most likely the best looking between the both of them. And that's okay. So, without further ado, let's jump into a little thing we like to call value. Oh, the video. Sing on. So we're gonna have to go with it. Check 2. This is my voice. This is my voice coming. Do you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? First thing I did was walk around the house and find some circles. There's some tape, a jar of peanut butter. Anything's gonna work, no matter how big, how small. It's really your preference. When thinking about paper, think about the mail, envelopes, notebook paper, note cards. I'm just using brown paper and colored pencil so you can see it better in the video. Just be creative and have fun. We look forward to seeing your work. Here's one that Miss Brungens did. It's perfect. If you need a little bit more guidance or want to see a visual demo, click on the Files tabs in Microsoft Teams. There are PowerPoints, videos, everything you need to know. Please enjoy, please be creative, please be safe, have a good time, let's get through this, and I hope to see everyone soon. Alright, so I found my circle template. Got myself a pencil, a piece of paper. Now let's go ahead and trace our circle. Now a couple things you want to think about when you're doing this is not to draw too dark and not too light. And don't worry about the circle being perfect. We're probably going to shade over it anyway. Wow, that's a beautiful circle. Probably one of my best. Now we want to start thinking about what the light source is, where it's coming from, and how the light's going to hit this object. Now obviously, if we had the sun, or a flashlight, or a spotlight, the first part of the object that gets hit by light will be the brightest. We call that the highlight. Now you're probably wondering why I made 2 dots. That first dot in the upper right hand corner is where the light, or where I think the light is going to hit first. I also drew a dot in the middle of the circle to give myself a center point of the sphere. Now you can see I'm drawing just a nice little straight line through there. Again, does not have to be perfect, but I'm measuring the distance from the outer edge of the circle from the first dot and trying to kind of mimic it on the other side. Now I'm going to start trying to connect these dots using an elliptical shape or an ellipse. This does not have to be a perfect ellipse. These dots do not have to be perfect. This is just a general guide for me and my brain to see the darkest points to the lightest points. Obviously, if the sun is hitting the top of the sphere, that will be the brightest spot, which we call the highlight, and the light will bend around until it's not seen anymore, which gives us the darker side. Now let's start adding the value. What is value again, you ask? It's simple. It's the degree from light to dark. The way we see things in the world is shadows. Dark next to light makes things light. Light next to dark makes things dark. With practice and many failures, our brain will start to think that this circle is turning into a sphere. Notice how I'm using the side of the pencil. This is going to help get rid of those dark, heavy lines because we want this to look smooth in the end. I'm also applying very little pressure, just letting the pencil drag across the paper. There are a lot of different types of paper, so the results are going to vary. Just take your time. The eclipse that we drew in the beginning is acting as my guide. I know everything to the right of that eclipse and below it is going to be the darkest, so I'm not worried about going too dark. As I venture up towards the top of the sphere, I will start maybe lightening up on my pressure a little bit more and letting the value build over time. I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make is to start expecting results and seeing things quickly. You want to be satisfied quickly by what you're drawing, and that usually makes you push a little harder, draw a little faster, and your values get dark too fast because you want to see something happen. Be patient and let the value build up, let the pencil blend, and you will start seeing results. At some point, you'll have this urge to use your finger to blend the values. Please wait till the very end and use your pencil as much as possible for blending. I'm also applying the value in the direction of the shape. This is important for creating that illusion that this object is round. When we begin adding value closer to the light source, don't be intimidated. We have erasers, and you could possibly just start over and do it again. But keep this area light. You can always make it darker. Do you see the moon? Any opportunity to create a waxing gibbous or a waxing crescent is a big win in my book. Go for it. Take a second to look at the value scale I just included. Right there. A value scale or chart can be very helpful to help us distinguish the degrees from light to dark. In this example, 1 through 9. Think about it like this. In box 1, I shade it 1 time, or 1 pass. In box 2, 2 passes. In box 3, 3 passes. 4, 4 passes, and so on. The smoother the transitions, the more realistic it looks, and the happier we are as artists to say, wow, look what we did. We made you think that there's a ball or a sphere on this piece of paper, but we all know that there's not. I'm going to go ahead and ask my virtual assistant to drop that value chart away. Oh, nice. Thank you. All right. I think I've said plenty. I could explain for another half hour. This whole drawing did take about 33 to 40 minutes to complete. And that's with me at the end adding some trees and landscape stuff. You know me by now. You've probably seen me do it. It's kind of impossible not to, I guess. But I think if there's anything to remember, practice and repeat. Practice and repeat. A lot of repetition is probably the best way to learn anything in any craft. For the remainder of this video, I'm going to kindly ask my virtual assistant to add some music, time-lapse us into the future to see what Mr. Mish came up with. Again, this was about a 35 to 40 minute drawing, just experimenting, relaxing, and letting the pencil do the work. If you made it this far and listened to me for this long, thank you. I appreciate you. And please know that I'm available almost all day, every day, for any questions or advice with your drawings. I can't wait to finish up the year strong and look forward to seeing all of you as soon as possible. I miss you.
And this emptiness fills my